All right, guys, we are going to introduce a mini grammar unit on simple sentences. Being able to recognize a simple sentence and what makes a simple sentence, okay, is really important in our writing. It allows us to avoid run-on sentences and fragment sentences that show up a lot if we don't have a good understanding of what makes a complete sentence. So let's get into this. Okay, so complete sentences are examples of independent clauses. And when we talk about clauses, a clause is a group of words that contains both a subject and a predicate. Okay, there are two different types of clauses. Like I said before, we have an independent clause that can stand alone. It's kind of like an adult that can go outside and do things by themselves. It's a complete sentence. It would make sense if you were talking to someone and said that. It would be a complete thought. Now, versus a dependent clause, the second type of clause, this is more like a incomplete thought. It's more like a child that can't stand alone or can't be by itself unless it's out with an adult. It's an incomplete sentence. Okay. Let's go in and talk more about independent clauses. Okay. These are clauses that can stand alone, as we said before. Okay. It's a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate and expresses a complete thought. An independent clause is known as a simple sentence. Okay, a simple sentence contains at least one subject, which we will have identified in purple on these slides in most cases, and then at least one predicate, which we'll identify in green. So subjects in purple, predicates in green. We need both in order to make an independent clause. Okay. And it has to be a complete thought that could stand alone. You could say it in a phrase and it would make sense if you were saying to someone. All right. So a simple sentence, an example of a simple sentence, all of my friends are snails. Now it's a weird sentence, yes, but it is a complete thought. All of my friends is our complete subject. Our snails is our complete predicate. Okay. I want you to practice, I want you to try and write two simple sentences on the image that you see here. It's once again a very interesting image, but I want you to write two complete sentences that, or two simple sentences that go along with this image. Other guidelines for simple sentences. A simple sentence can also have a compound subject or a compound predicate. Okay, here's an example of a sentence that contains both a compound, which means more than one, subject, identified in purple, and a compound predicate, which means more than one predicate, identified in green. Okay, Betsy and Ross watched the movie and ate popcorn. Okay, the who, in this case, are Betsy and Ross, and the what did they do? They watched and ate. Okay, they watched the movie and ate popcorn. So there is our simple sentence, our independent clause. Okay, a simple sentence cannot have more than one independent clause, though. All right, so it can't be a combination of independent clauses, as you see in this example here. Once again, Betsy watched the movie, comma, and Ross ate popcorn. Okay, we have two independent clauses combined by a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Okay, this is not it is a complete sentence, but it is not a simple sentence. And today we're working on simple sentences. Okay. Going on to the third bit of information, a simple sentence can be long or short. Okay. Here's a long example of a simple sentence or independent clause. Mary, Tyler, and Shelby are going to visit grandmother in Long Island this weekend. Okay. In this case, we have the compound subject, Mary, Tyler, and Shelby, and then we have are going as our predicate. And we don't need to really know about infinitive phrases or prepositional phrases so much right now. We just want to be able to identify that subject and the predicate are in place. Okay. A very short example of a simple sentence that contains both a subject and a predicate and can stand alone is Mary ran. Okay, that's a complete sentence. It's very, very brief, but it does have both the subject and the predicate. Who or what? Mary. Mary did what? She ran. Okay, who? Mary did what? She ran. Okay, let's go on and let's take this little quiz that we have here. Okay, is this a simple sentence or an independent? Is it a simple sentence and an independent clause? Okay, you need to decide yes or no and then justify your answer. If it's not a simple sentence, you need to revise it to be such. Okay, Destiny walked down the train tracks. Okay, does this have a subject? Does it have a predicate? Can it stand alone? Okay, so you're going to answer that and make any changes if needed. Okay, the answer here is yes, it is a simple sentence. One subject and one predicate. Okay, it can also stand alone as a complete thought. Okay, Destiny is our subject. Destiny did what? She walked down the train tracks, right? So our subject is Destiny, our preposition is walk, our simple predicate is walked, our complete predicate is walked down the train tracks, prepositional phrase. And let's go on to another example. Is this a simple sentence? Is it an example of an independent clause? Decide yes or no, and then justify your answer. If it is not a simple sentence, revise it to be such. Okay. The concrete arms were long, and they grabbed the building desperately. Okay. Take a look at it. Look at its parts. I look for that subject. Okay. Is it a simple sentence? Does it have a simple subject and predicate? Okay. Or is it something more? You need to make that decision. Okay. And you need to revise it to be such. So maybe it's, if it doesn't fit, maybe we could take it and break it up into two independent clauses. I'll let you take that and finish that up. The answer here is no. It is not a simple sentence. It has two separate independent clauses. The concrete arms, okay? The concrete arms what? Were long, okay? And then it goes on with a comma and a coordinating conjunction. And it has the second subject, they, or in this case, they, referring to the concrete arms, they what? They grabbed the building desperately, okay? We could combine these into one simple sentence by saying the long concrete arms grabbed the building desperately. Okay. Just combining that they were long and that they grabbed the building desperately into a single predicate instead of two predicates with two subjects. All right. Let's try another one. Is this a simple sentence or independent clause? Decide yes or no, and then justify your answer. If it is not a simple sentence, revise it to be such. Adam on the ice beach. Think about that one. Adam on the ice beach, does it have a subject and a predicate? Okay. And can it stand alone as a complete thought? The answer here is no. This is a fragment. It has a subject, but no predicate. Okay. Instead, we could replace this and make it into a complete sentence by saying Adam is exploring the ice beach in Iceland. Okay. Or Adam is on the ice beach. Okay. It needs to have both the subject and the predicate. All right, quiz time once again. Let's try another one. Is this a simple sentence / independent clause? Decide yes or no, and then justify your answer. If it is not a simple sentence, we want you to revise. He danced. Okay. Is it a complete thought with a subject and a predicate? Answer is yes. It is an independent clause. It has a subject. Okay. He did what? He danced. Okay. It provides both the subject and the predicate, and it can stand alone. Let's do one last bit of quizzing just so we get this with one more example. Is this a simple sentence or independent clause? Is it both? Okay. Decide yes or no, and then justify your answer. If it is not a simple sentence, revise it to be a simple sentence. The baby elephant needs help. His mother reaches for him. Okay. Look for your subject, the who or what, the who, and then the predicate, did what. Okay. The who, and then did what. All right. Make your decision. If it needs revisions, let's do that. The answer in this case, this is not a sentence. It uses a semicolon, combine two independent clauses. Okay. The baby elephant needed help, right? So the baby elephant is a subject. The elephant what? Needs help. Then we go on to the second independent clause. His mother is a subject. His mother did what? Reaches for him. Okay. We could combine these into the mother helps her child cross the river. Okay. You could say the mother elephant if you wanted to combine, and then helps her child cross the river. All right. So hopefully that helps build the idea of what makes an independent clause, a simple sentence, a phrase that can stand alone with a subject and a predicate. This is something that we will build on, okay, and continue to review, but we need to make sure that we can recognize when we have a complete thought, a simple sentence, and when we do not, or when it's going and running on, we are getting more than just the simple sentence. So we're going to build on this and dive into it a little bit further as we get into our grammar unit. Thank you.